Will you help us carry her? Laura? Laura? Now where's Laura gone to?
I'll carry Effie to the room upstairs.
Everybody into the drawing room. Here, Fallon. I'll help you with her.
She'll be more comfortable upstairs.
No good. I want all the suspects in one place.
Suspects?
This is a crime scene.
A crime scene? Applesauce. I'm sure Miss Margot is fine, sir. These people are not suspects.
Suspects! Every last one of them.
Do you know who I am?
Should I?
Gentlemen, please, be civil. Mr. Mars is a rather prominent politician. And you are?
Oh, a big cheese, huh? That explains why I've heard so much about you.
Have you?
No. Now dry up and do as you're told.
I insist on knowing your name.
Sit. There's plenty of time for formal introductions. Mrs. Moffat, get me a guest list.
I'm afraid Mr. Mars is right. We should know who you are.
Brute. Coming in here and shouting orders.
Hank Quinlan, PI. Mrs. Moffat,
Yes?
I'll need to use your phone.
Oh, our phone is not working. You'll have to go up the street.
Broken, is it? Isn't that odd?
There's no need of a guest list. I can account for all my guests. But please, Mr. Quinlan, this is too much. Murder? Impossible. She's been lying down and is simply asleep.
Yes, sir. It's late. You can go. Don't let us waste your time.
What are you suggesting, Kathy? Lisa? And Margot? Margot? Oh, it's too horrible. I can't even say it.
Do you think she offed herself, Mr. Quinlan, on the level now?
Who is this Margot?
Margot Wendis. She was a lovely creature. Very kind and sweet.
Is, Effie, really. Margot is a very dear friend of mine.
I heard she was something of a bear cat.
Velma, it's bad luck to speak ill of the dead.
It's bad luck to speak at all.
Says you.
When was Miss Wendis seen last?
Mr. Quinlan, your presence is not needed. I will look in on Margot. I'm sure she's fine.
When did you see her last?
Oh, I saw her at 6. She was complaining of a headache and went upstairs to lie down. I'm sure she simply fell asleep.
And nobody's been upstairs since?
No.
Which one of you is Lisa?
I am.
And where were you when the screaming started?
In the kitchen, helping with dinner.
That's not true.
Anna, hold your tongue.
Why do you say that, Anna?
Because I saw her coming from the drawing room with that gunk she used to wake up Effie.
And what were you doing in the drawing room, Lisa?
Anna is mistaken. Certainly, Detective, you know how a child's imagination can be.
Lisa, let me see your hands.
What? Why?
There's a peculiar smell on them.
I've been cleaning all evening, sir. I'm afraid the scent isn't very pleasant. And then, of course, the smelling salts.
Can I see these salts?
I seem to have dropped them.
I'll get them.
Sit down, Anna, and be quiet.
You'd best do as you're told, Anna. Those salts are likely gone anyhow.
They are horrible to smell, though, sir. I should wash my hands.
I'm afraid that we'll have to wait. But if anybody gets drowsy, your hands can help. Nobody else went upstairs before Effie found Miss Wendis?
No.
Where are the police? The proper police. Surely you're not all content to let this ragamuffin carry out the investigation.
I met Bohunk.
You will speak to me in civil tones, Mr. Quinlan.
Where's Velma?
Velma?
She must have slipped out to use the washroom. Lisa, please.
Nothing doing. I'll find her, and then I'm going upstairs to check on the body.
She's only napping, please.
Mrs. Moffat, this could turn into quite a scandal if word of crime gets around. News is slow. Every paper in town will try to link you with something as tasty as murder.
Scandal?
That's right. You be sure every last one of your guests stays in this room, or the story is bound to get out.
Mr. Quinlan, I have something that will help. Here,
What's this?
a master key. It will unlock or lock any door in the house. Lock the door when you go out, and nobody can leave this room.
Why are you so keen on keeping everyone together? I'm sure you know what kind of a woman you're working for. She could be awful angry if she found out you were helping me.
Mrs. Moffat has a lot of secrets, Mr. Quinlan, but I'll stay out of it. If word gets out about this, I may lose my position. Take the key, Mr. Quinlan, and use it.
I wasn't surprised to see that the door locked from the inside only. But it didn't matter. A ritzy dame like Moffat would do anything to avoid a scandal. Right now I needed to find Velma, but I made a quick stop in the kitchen. Yes, operator. KL625. Hi there, Angel. Sorry to wake you. You're all right. Look, I need to be quick. I don't think this line is going to last long, and I need you here at the Moffat place. Yes, Kathy Moffat. It looks like somebody got taken for a ride. Call Mark and get here, fast. Yes, I'm sure. Thanks, Angel. I hit the staircase, and about halfway up, met a woman on her way down. Velma?
Miss Valento to you.
Velma Valento with the Chronicle?
That's right. Who are you?
Hank Quinlan. I'm a private investigator.
Private investigator. But why?
I'm here to investigate the murder of Margot Wendis.
Murder? Margot's sleeping. I just looked in on her. She's like an angel.
Until we're sure of that, this is a crime scene, and you are alone at it. That doesn't look good, Miss Valento. Also, I can't have you roughing up my crime scene.
She's asleep, not dead. There's no crime scene to rough up. But don't you dare go bothering that poor lady. She's complaining of a headache all day. If you wake her...
Then we'll all know she's alive, and you'll be off the hook. However, if she is, let's say, compromised in any fashion, it'll look awful suspicious, you and a dead woman.
In which case, I'll have a swell story. Not the most alarming, mind you. Mr. Quinlan, I recall a recent story about a certain gumshoe who was thrown over. Looked an awful lot like he helped a certain woman get away. Of course, there wasn't enough evidence for conviction. Some pictures were burned, and, well, you can use your imagination.
Well, I hope you got the facts straight on that one. You can't twist them quite right until you do.
I don't distort facts, Mr. Quinlan.
Yeah. Take my handkerchief.
Thank you.
You dames should lighten up on the powder. Say, since you're here, why don't you show me which room it is?
Here, down this hallway, last door on your left. Promise me you won't wake her?
I promise.
It's foolish for you to come to this crime scene. What makes you so certain?
A dead woman is a strong clue.
Oh, I'll show you. Here.
She reached for the door handle, but I stopped her just in time.
What are you doing?
I can't have you destroying evidence. Look at the door handle.
What about it?
Look, there's powder on the handle. Whoever closed this door last did so recently. And since none of the women are in powder tonight, I'd say that's suspicious. It could be coincidence. It could be that Margot simply takes too much powder with her on vacation. Either way, if you touched that handle, you'd have powder on your hands and be framed for murder, provided she's dead, of course. I'll have to peek in to make sure, but why don't you get a wiggle on before you're left holding the bag?
All right.
Oh, if you would, my handkerchief.
Of course.
She rushed off like she didn't have to be told twice. I examined the door, found that it hadn't quite latched, and gave it a push. It swung open easy enough. There was the woman, lying on the bed. Fallon was right about one thing. She looked so peaceful. She could have been napping. An open window in the corner let in the cold night air, rustled her hair, and for a moment, I wondered if she wasn't just napping after all. I found a small mirror on the bureau and held it close to her mouth. Nothing. Not a breath. She'd been a looker, all right. I closed the window, replaced the mirror, and wondered what a doll like that did with so many cosmetics. It was time to get the bowls involved, and I stopped by the kitchen to make the call. Sure enough, the line was dead. I made for the door. I figured I knew who was behind it. I passed the bottom of the stairs, and that's when I heard a sound that made my blood freeze.
Hello, Hank.
Two things told me it was her. That scent. That lilac scent. I'd been smelling it all night. And then there was that voice. I'd know that voice from a million miles away. It had melted into my mind like Swiss on tuna. But it didn't mean I expected to hear it again. Ever. I turned around, and there she was, standing in the hallway, looking at me with those eyes, with that expression only she could wear. Hello, Laura.
We'll return to Hank and this deadly woman in a moment.